Welcome to another episode of the MTLD podcast. My name is LD, joined as always by my close friend MT. If you first time tuning in, listening via YouTube or Spotify, or you pirated this somehow from somewhere, thank you for listening. This podcast is a little bit about this, that, and everything. So thank you for joining us today. MT and I are both... What?
WinMX.
Yeah, WinMX, yeah. Or if you, maybe, what are some of those other...
Kazaa. LimeWire.
If you've got it from Kazaa, LimeWire, SoulSeek. Did you ever use SoulSeek?
No, dude. You were way more clued into that stuff than I ever was. I remember I thought I was clued in when I was using Kazaa, and I went to your house and you showed me WinMX. And I was like, holy shit, there's a whole new world out there.
Dude, SoulSeek was the real shit though. Like, it was the shit where you went to for all the super underground stuff. That's where I got a lot of my metal albums and shit from. It was dope. It was so good, man. Highly recommend.
Oh, dude,
I know it's still around.
We've only just begun with the intro, but since you've mentioned that, I'm going totally rogue here.
Fuck it, why not?
Yeah. Underground metal stuff. Did you end up finding that recording that you ever did under the...
Which one?
The name Seasons Decadence? Moonshine was the name of the track.
So here's the deal, right? Here's a little secret. When I was younger, I made a YouTube video called like top 5 black metal bands, right? And I did 4 like black metal bands that I really liked, and then I also included my own track.
Dude, and it fits so well. Like as an objective third party, I can tell you that was a very sly marketing campaign. And dude, honestly, I think you got more visibility on that one snippet of your track than we ever did as a band, fully marketing and trying to push our material. Like that got like over 10,000 views, dude. Dude,
I think I would need to check, but I'm pretty sure it has like 20 or 30,000 views now, which is crazy.
Yeah, dude. I love that so kind of shit. So much that I've been hitting you up about it, dude. But it's what's the go? It's a lost track.
The problem is it was on MySpace, and you know, like MySpace. I don't know if you've checked it, but all the music's gone, dude. Like supposedly,
anytime I try and play something, it just doesn't play.
Yeah, their servers got wiped or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, it's all gone. Sorry," which is shit because there's literally so much music on.
You didn't have a Bandcamp or like a SoundCloud or?
No, it was before all of that, bro. Yeah, so MySpace was like the only thing that was happening. Not only did I lose Seasons Decadence, but I had like another 2 projects, like solo projects that I made music for, and I had uploaded all of those tracks on those MySpaces as well. So I've actually lost so much music, which is really shit.
Yeah, that sucks.
I guess it shows you why you should back up your music, but I was like friggin', I don't know, 14. I didn't really think about it.
It was early on in the piece, yeah, dude. How did you even get the drums done? Because you didn't have or you just use a loop or something?
I don't know, some plug-in on some program. Yeah.
There were a couple of fills in there. It wasn't just a steady beat the whole time. You had a couple of rolls and whatnot.
Yeah, actually, so with the Seasons Decadence, that was actually, the drums were done by Joel, who was, and is still a friend of mine, who was the brother of one of my exes. So,
yes. Yeah.
He actually helped me record that entire song. Shout out to Joel, man. Shout out. He actually, helped get me into a lot of black metal too. So, but then like with my other stuff, I just sort of did it at home, but that was, way more basic. That was just like, all right, here's a blast beat. All right, repeat that 1,000 times. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the genre in a nutshell, is it not?
Well, true.
All right. All jokes aside, straight down to business, dude. You hit me up with a subject earlier in the week, and it tickled my fancy.
It did, and I guess it's once again, I feel like, you know what? I've said this before, but I definitely feel like this podcast is just a really good way for us to reminisce and get a bit nostalgic about, you know, our friendship, you know, friends for 20 years. We've got so much history and I don't know, we barely talk about it, to be honest. So this is just like a really positive thing for me.
Dude, and I think between the two of us, the gaps in memory, there are many things like where one comment triggers like an avalanche of memories that I just, I'd forgotten or you'd forgotten. But yeah, it's good stuff, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I wanted to talk about video games today, and I guess we got a lot to sort of unpack around that. But I think what made me go, you know what, let's talk about it, is the fact that one of my best video game memories, and something I remember and I think is probably going to stick with me forever, was the time when I was at your place. I think you had got, and now correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is right. You had got the original Xbox.
Yes.
And you'd got Halo.
Correct.
Is that right?
That happened. That was the most elated I've been on a Christmas morning since getting my first bike.
Yeah. That was sick. I remember it just being like, holy shit. Like, I don't know, like Halo now to me, I don't really give a shit about it. But the first Halo game was like bonkers, man.
That to me, that sort of signaled the transition of generations into like this. To me, that was like the definition of next gen gaming. I was like, oh shit, this is big. Like these maps are big. The graphics are off chops. The soundtrack is outrageous. Like that was when, And this is going to be a controversial opinion, but I feel like that was kind of, for me, the beginning of like the decline of gaming quality and engagement. Like we'll get there eventually, but I think that currently, I think that it's a dog shit market for good quality games. Like the emphasis is all on the most top end graphics and things like that, and actual gameplay and engagement is out the door.
Yeah,
shoot me.
A lot of the
Shoot
time
me. Let the haters hate, dude.
No, but you're right, and a lot of people would agree with you as well. But I think you got to sort of break it down into two categories, like you would pretty much any form of art. Is you've got your mainstream art, and then you've got your underground art, and you've still got like your independent game creators that are like one dude in his basement or a small team, and they're still making games for just the absolute love of it, and they're trying to make good games. At the end of the day, they're just trying to make really good video games, but of course the opposite side of that is you've got the mainstream big company AAA studios that have teams of literally like 200, 300 people working on a video game. But they're on like, they got a quota that they got to hit. They're like, oh shit, we got to release a new Call of Duty every 2 years. We got to fucking do a new Assassin's Creed every year. Like, and that's when you sacrifice obviously quality for quantity.
In my mind, it just becomes soulless. Like I heard someone at some point saying there's only so high a quality I can get staring down the barrel of a gun before you're going to lose my attention. And that's was in relation to all the Call of Duty games and that kind of thing. Like there just doesn't feel like there's a lot of creativity. And I suppose it's like the same could be said for the movie market or the movie industry. Like we're just churning out nonstop superhero stuff with a pre-existing market base. There's no risk. It's like, all right, we know we're going to hit a slam dunk if we put out another Iron Man. Like, why would we roll the dice on this independent guy when we know we've got a home run sitting right here? But
that's exactly what it is, dude. That's exactly. Go on.
On that, when you were talking about independent game developers, there was a guy, he produced a game. I just was looking at my Steam library. It's called Only If. Okay. And, that's weird. I was just having a look at that. And he produced a shit hot game, dude. Really cool indie game. It was like really strange. Went through a lot of like emotional phases. I think it was like a bit of a like a cathartic experience, the dude producing it. And when I played through it, I was like, whoa, that was really heavy. Like you go through a lot of these experiences and anxieties and depressions and all sorts of stuff. And by the end of it, I was like, whoa, that was like quite moving. I sent the dude a long-winded message, just like telling him that I thought it was really good. And he ended up replying and he was stoked as well. So I think that's really cool that you can still have that, like you say, like that connection with someone who's producing something by themselves.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting that you say that because, I haven't had a good computer for years now, right? Like I literally today got a brand new computer, but before that I had the same computer for 10 years. And it was also running on like 32-bit Windows instead of 64-bit, which
Okay.
I did it for some stupid reason. I completely fucked it up. It's all on me, right? But anyway, so I couldn't play like maybe like 90% of the games that were out there because A, my computer was shit, and B, most of the time you need to be in 64-bit mode for games to work.
Oh,
But
okay.
the only sort of games that would work on my computer were like little indie retro sprite games, like with sprite graphics and stuff like that. So for the last couple of years, all I've been playing is just like little indie sprite games and stuff that focus more on obviously being, I guess, interesting, having a different story or having a really cool art style and things like that.
Yeah.
Which has actually given me such an appreciation for small independent developers of games. And yeah, dude, you're right. There's so much good shit out there. Like, and a lot of it seems to have a lot of that cathartic, just like emotional depth that you don't find in big video game studios now, which is so good. Like I played this one game. Oh shit. I wish I did some prep and
That's it, dude. That's why I was sneaky getting in my Steam library while you were chatting,
yeah,
so it was seamless.
Fuck. Dude, I should have. Oh man, I'll have to look while you're having.
Well, and then you'll be able to. Well, yeah, I'll waffle for a minute. You can look it up if you like. Otherwise, we'll just.
Oh, dude,
put a link at some point.
Yeah, we'll have to put a link because I've got too many games, bro. You know how it is. I got too many games. There's 1,000,001 games in my Steam library. I don't know which one it is, but essentially, you were a girl. You had sort of passed away. Your brother also passed away, so you're like looking for your brother, and you were sort of stuck in limbo. And the whole thing was you were trying to sort of get out of limbo. You were trying to find your brother, but like it had multiple endings, and I don't know, man. The story it just hit hard, especially at the end. It hit really hard, and like I said, I feel like you struggle to find that in big mainstream games. They're not trying to do that. They're not trying to make you think, or they're not trying to make you feel. They're trying to, I guess, sort of blindly entertain for the most part.
Well, and that's the interesting thing, dude, because when you talk about like a good, engaging game, a large part of that psychologically is the escapism aspect of it. And one of the games that I found that a great deal with, we're sort of, I think we originally set out to do, in my mind, somewhat of a chronological conversation, but we're all over the place. But
fuck it.
It is what it is.
Dude, it's our podcast. Who's going to tell us that we can't do it? The man?
Yeah, dude. We're the new Howard Stern of podcasting.
Do what we want.
The game that I got that really well put together an immersive experience with was Journey. I don't know if you ever played that.
Yeah, Journey's great. Yeah, great game.
And I think that I don't understand how Sony didn't look at that and that as a success story and understand that people are engaged by a good story and it doesn't require mountains of dialogue or any dialogue at all. It needs good game design, good level design, engaging imagery, and lovely music. They're like, you get those down.
Yeah.
Killing it, man.
Yeah,
I suppose you can't rinse and repeat that format. Like that, maybe that was like a one-off. Maybe if they were to, although I played Flower, I think that was they did that first. Predecessor? Is that?
Yeah.
That's before, right? That was its predecessor, but it's I think same studio or the same people. And that was another really, really great experience in a similar format.
Yeah, I didn't play Flower, but I did play Journey, and Journey was great. I really liked Journey. I don't know. Those games are successful, but I think it just really goes back to the fact that, even though a lot of people might have problems with your big AAA studios and their game design, the problem is, bro, they sell. You know what I mean?
I guess that's it, dude. It's like,
hype them up.
Yeah, it's like these people that say they hate Trump. And it's like, well, the dude is clearly, getting the
pretty
majority
popular.
vote. Like he's bringing in
Yeah.
the votes, and therefore he's in that position. So when everyone waffles on like, oh, most people hate Trump, I'm like, well, it's not reflected in the votes unless he's rigging it.
Well, I don't know. I think there
that's-
was some bullshit around that, but I'm no fucking political scientist. Better not get into that. Yeah. But no, I think there was some bullshit around that. But that's maybe another topic for another podcast.
Yeah, dude, we'll do a conspiracy one. We can talk about. Oh, dude, boy, can I talk about that stuff?
Yeah, look, yeah, they sell. I think that's what we need to just remember is that video games like that, they do sell. But then again, do they only sell because they got a budget of like $50 million in marketing to push in people's faces?
Well, it goes down to that thing, dude. Like I remember there was I don't remember the exact song, but there was a Foo Fighters song and it came on the radio and I was like, meh, this is pretty shit. By the end of the day, I'd heard it maybe like 12 times. And then I knew this song and then I was like, here comes the chorus. Cool. It's like it gets stuck in my head and I was like, this is not bad.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of science behind that, isn't there? Like if you hear a song X many times and it just sort of like gets really in your head and you sort of crave it, but I'm not too sure around that.
So who knows, dude? But all right, so what's because I think we're from an interesting generation, right? Like we've sort of gone through a few iterations of what gaming actually is. And,
absolutely.
Platforms and all that kind of jazz. What's your early memories of gaming and games in general?
I think my very first memory of gaming, and I remember it was on, I think the original Nintendo or the Super Nintendo or the SNES or whichever one it was.
The NES was the one with the rectangular controller. The SNES had the rounded either side.
The NES was first, right?
NES had 2 buttons, A and B, and the SNES had 4 buttons.
Dude, I don't even know if it was those consoles or maybe it was like a Sega Saturn or something like that. I don't know. But I remember the game. The game was like I think it was like the original, I could be wrong as well, original like Aladdin game or like original Prince of Persia game. Like it was legit a side.
I want to say you're talking SNES.
Platformer.
You're in SNES territory. NES was far more rudimentary in graphics and things like that. I don't know if you got nearly as many licensed titles on the NES. But if you're talking Aladdin or...
Nah, it wasn't like Aladdin, like Disney Aladdin. It was like the actual story of Aladdin. Like it was like Arabian themed.
Yeah,
there was like dudes with scimitars and stuff like that. But it wasn't like Disney Aladdin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why I think it was like maybe like a super like OG like Prince of Persia type game.
Okay.
But I could be completely wrong, man. We're going to get absolutely crucified by like gaming.
Anyone that knows anything about gaming history is going to be like, you fucking idiots.
They'll be like, A, how don't you know the console? B, how don't you fucking know what game you were playing? But sorry, it's just how it is. But yeah, I remember
they fail.
Yeah, exactly. I remember playing that game and I was like, whoa, this is cool. Like, cause I just didn't really know what video games were. And I don't think I really got it at the start, like I was like, what the hell? What do I do? What does this all mean? I wasn't very good at it either. Some of my other really early memories were playing like Leisure Suit Larry.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but like one of the early ones, obviously, that was on computer, and I think I had it on like floppy disk, which I had a few games on floppy disk, bro.
That game would not leave you with a floppy disk.
Nah, mate, no floppy disk around me, mate. Yeah, dude, but
that was a sick time. That was like that. Yeah. And this is, again, we're getting way like I'm gonna chop and change all over the place nonstop. That was a really, I want to say innocent, but like the content wasn't innocent. Like the whole Frank's Adventure, Leisure Suit Larry period. Like all those games,
dirty games. Yeah.
It was just like such a, I don't know, man. And like Newgrounds was such a huge part of like opening this whole world.
Yeah. Let's come back to that. Let's come back to Newgrounds, because I think that is its own like topic. Like we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Bit of a portal in itself. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get stuck into that. Yeah, but I guess that's my memories. What about your early? Like, I had a billion more, but like, what are your
Yeah.
early video game memories?
First and foremost would be when we got our first family computer, and it had pinball on it. And I think
Oh,
you may remember it was like the default, like when you got a computer, the
yeah.
pinball. I still remember the sounds and like everything about it, because I used to wake up on like a Sunday. I'd wake up at like 7:30, to be the first to get on the computer for like my 1 hour. You never had to fuck around with siblings, dude. I
No.
had to get up extra early, so I'd sneak in like my 45 minutes in on my pinball, and then as soon as Adam or Phil would wake up, they'd be like, "Yeah, dude, you're out of here. I'm playing pinball now."
No shit. Yeah,
And
I didn't have to worry about any of that.
yeah, dude, but yeah, dude, it was something very exciting about it. Like it just the idea that, and it would sound so dumb to a millennial. No, we are millennials. A Zoomer. If you said to them, dude, it was as though you had a pinball machine in your house on your computer for free.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I'd be like, yeah, dude, you're a fucking idiot. I'm going to go play Fortnite on my phone, bro. But, dude, honestly, yeah, we had to like allocate, like divvy up the time that each sibling was allowed to spend playing pinball and Minesweeper and shit like that on the computer.
Oh,
it was very exciting.
Great games. It was exciting, those games, though, back in the day as well. I don't think that's what people really understand. I never got into, like, the card games that were on PC.
Me neither, because I didn't understand them, dude. I still don't. I don't know how to play solitaire.
No, I don't know. Yeah, me neither.
I just continually click and drag until it would stay. And I was like, this game's pretty sick.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, yeah, I reckon... early, another memory of mine was playing like puzzle. Like I had this cow. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember, dude. This might have been before we were. No, you would. Do you remember down the road from me? There used to be a girl named Ali.
I do, dude. I remember. I remember playing guns with her in your backyard, and we got on the roof.
I don't. Okay, yeah, I don't remember that at all. Okay,
yeah, dude,
so we all
she got a bazooka.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, she got a bazooka, and we hid on the roof. We hid from her. Because we were, I don't know, man. We were kind of pricks when we were kids.
We were fucking terrorists, bro.
Yeah, you were like, oh, I don't really want to hang out with Ali today. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know this chick, so do you want to hide on the roof? And we got up on the roof of the shed up the back corner of the backyard, and we laid down flat. And she kept walking around looking for us because we were playing guns. She had a fucking bazooka gun.
Like completely... made up gun, or was she
no, it was like a log, like a log.
Okay.
A log that from a tree, and we had little like stick handguns, but she found a bazooka, and we just hid on the roof in the back corner of your backyard. We laid there for, in my head it was like an hour, but it was probably like 10 minutes, and then she just went home.
10 minutes.
And she went home.
Damn, we're terrible people.
We were pieces of shit. I was like, we just laid there for ages, and you were like, is she gone? And I was like, oh yeah, dude, I think she's gone home. Like, yeah. Dude, you wonder why we suck with the ladies.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, oh, man. That's
it's inexcusable.
Now. Jesus. Yeah, look, Ali, if you're listening to this podcast, I know she's not. But Ali, if you ever listen to this podcast,
she fucking hates both of us.
Yeah, it's true. I'm really sorry. I apologize on behalf of myself and for MT's behavior. I
didn't know her. I met her once, and I think that was probably the only time. You being a dog.
Fuck. All right.
That's kids for you, though, dude.
Yeah, I know. But I guess you look back and you go, geez, did you have to be like that? But geez, yeah, we were kids. Didn't really know too much better. Okay, so anyway, as I was saying.
Yes, so I know who Ali is, yeah.
All right. Ali's dad had a computer, and her family were like super religious as well. So they weren't, they were like super strict on like computer time and what you could do on the computer and stuff like that. But they had this like puzzle game, and it was like a cowboy puzzle game where you had to like, I don't know what the point of it was. I just remember you could put a scorpion in a matchbox, and then like you could like give the matchbox to another cowboy, and it would like kill them if they opened it, type of thing.
Jesus.
I don't know, some weird bullshit like adventure game 2D graphics, wasn't 3D. It was like point and click adventure, but it was dope as hell. It was fun as hell. I love that shit. So that was another early memory of mine. Oh, and they also had, I think they had Command and Conquer, the original Command and Conquer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is crazy. I don't know how they got away with playing that because, like I said, her parents were like super religious. So I'm surprised they were allowed to play that. But yeah. I never really got into Command and Conquer. I was a Age of Empires dude.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because then again, like jumping in the timeline, I have a reasonably robust gaming computer. For the past couple of weeks, that's been like Age of Empires is what I've been playing. That's what that's how I've been putting my rig through its paces.
No, yeah. It's gone real stress test for it.
Yep. And it passed the test, man. I enjoyed myself very much. I'm not a gamer, dude. Like, I think in many ways, and I think maybe it's partially because of what I do for a living, I'm just like I'm an old man at heart. Like I think maybe that's why I gravitate towards the simpler games. Like I'm that guy that's like, dude, back in my day, games were like point A to point B, winner, job done.
Yeah.
Like there was no, like, side quests were a breakthrough at some point in time. Like I just like knowing what I'm doing, where I'm going, understanding the world I'm in. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. Saying that, we had a lot of good memories playing video games. One game that we played religiously and hardcore, and we got pretty fucking good, and we had some real good memories playing it, was Team Fortress 2.
Oh, dude. That's probably over 1,000 hours I would have plugged into that. Like, that was sick, dude. We went
hardcore.
Yeah, people will toot their own horns, but we were the most formidable duo in the history of that game.
Bro, we were killers.
Dude, my character, my account got banned, like from voice chat and all that kind of stuff. I think because you'll remember I was venomous.
We used to troll people fucking hard.
There's something to be said for the psychology behind that, because I think a lot of the older generation are like, oh, it's just really like toxic, nasty people that get online and are nasty on video games. I'm not a bad dude, but it's fun to vent and just blow up and just say stupid shit to people. And particularly when you're winning, man, when you're absolutely just dominating someone else, it's fun to let them know about it. And I guess that's toxic. Maybe I'm a toxic gamer. I don't know.
It probably is, but were we toxic? I remember us being more just stupid. Like, I remember there was this one time when you were like, how do I build a sentry? And like this dude was like, you just selected and press E or whatever the fuck. And you were like, it's not working. And remember this dude, do you remember this? And the dude literally like sticked around for like 5-10 minutes trying to teach you how to build a sentry. And you were just like, it's not working. Do you remember that?
Dude, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot. It's probably one of many examples of silly behavior that I carried on with.
I just feel like we did more stupid shit like that. I don't think we're ever like, oh, go kill yourself, blah, 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 blah.
No, it was never absolutely. Or I guess you're right. There probably is a distinction between like being a buff head and then actually trying to have like a targeted, abusive line of dialogue with someone.
Yeah, we weren't like that. Like, because I've never in my life been like that. Like, I've never been someone to be like, oh, yeah, fuck you, fucking, like, yeah, that's just... I don't know, it seems really shallow. Like, if you're gonna like, mess with someone, surely you can do a little bit better than that, right?
Yeah.
But dude, we were absolute killers on Team Fortress. I remember we would like top the scoreboard.
Dude, I played it not too long ago. Entered a round, straight up to the top, man.
Are you serious?
Still got it. It's dude, just like it's like riding a bike. You just get that fearless. Oh. But the thing, dude, it was once you got right into that game and playing different classes and stuff, it got complicated, like playing spy and stuff like that.
I was the killer with the scout.
I remember that.
I remember I literally had just like the most amazing agility and could jump over someone's head. And I had the shotgun that was like a bang bang, it was like a
The old double
tap,
banger, yeah.
and if you hit them with the double banger, they were pretty much dead like straight away. But it was so hard to hit people with it. But I remember just like slaughtering people with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never been good at shooters. I was never good at COD. I was never good at Battlefield or any of these other big shooters. But like Team Fortress 2, I absolutely owned at that.
Yeah, dude. Well, I feel like once you understood, but maybe it's like anything, like that whole, 1,000 hours or whatever that expression was that some tennis player used. Like rather than putting that into something that was financially beneficial, we were plugging that time into Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
You put enough time into anything and you get pretty good at it.
That's true. Oh, another game that we obviously played. We played a lot of, and I don't know, we played together, but I don't know if we played together like religiously. World of Warcraft.
Oh, dude, hang on, stop, back up.
Okay,
let's talk RuneScape.
Oh, okay, let's talk RuneScape. Yeah. Shit, man, how could I forget? So I guess.
Oh, dude. Hang on. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, probably the first game I was ever addicted to.
Legit,
like, dude. Truly addicted.
100%. To a point where it became, like a problem. Like in my household, like mum and dad had to sit me down and say, we don't understand the hours upon hours that you're spending on this. Like you need to like go outside and do something because this is a problem. And I was like, you don't get it. Idiots. You don't understand. But dude, you were the first person that I knew to get members. I remember being at your house and just watching you play on members. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, and back then, like, I'll just mention, right? So people don't fucking know how easy it is nowadays to do shit. Back then, to become a member, it wasn't like you could go on the website and enter in your credit card details and then boom, you're a member. I had to go to the post office, get a fucking money check or transfer, and then send it to America. And then they would receive that and be like, yo, we got your money. And you're a member now for 30 days. Like
manually activate your account.
Dude, that's what they did back in the day, Like, shit's so easy now. People have no idea how convenient it is. But yeah, bro. Man, there was nothing like it. Because for me at least, I was so young.
Yeah, dude.
I had never experienced, and yes, there was other, like, MMOs out before RuneScape. But, I mean, how accessible it was. All you needed was to like go in your browser and
the fact that you could do it even on school computers. And the system requirements were so low. Yeah, dude.
We were doing it on school computers. I think fucking every lunch or whatever, it was just like, oh, miss, can I stay inside and just play? I
don't want to go out and play today or feel a bit sick.
yeah, exactly. Oh, man. But, oh, shit. Yeah, just like the world was like crazy. I remember there's so much shit to do. And I guess I went back and I played it not too long ago because once again, I had a shit computer. It couldn't play anything, but any computer can play RuneScape, which is awesome. Oh man, it sort of holds up, but it doesn't hold up. It's very dated now.
I think it depends on your state of mind, right? Because I haven't discussed this with you. I fell back down the rabbit hole. It got right into RuneScape again.
No shit. Okay.
I think someone said it was once described as just like a grind simulator, which is what it is. And I think with everything that's going on, it was easy to fall into to feel that sense of actually working towards something in a time where it's like all these deadlines for lockdown to end and then it just gets obliterated. And I'm like, I feel like I'm in a real life grind simulator. The grind is being locked down and not being able to do shit.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'll just do this other grind simulator. And yeah, dude, I got pretty heavily into it, but it was only for about 2 weeks. And then I sort of snapped out of it, but definitely that at that age, dude. And when everyone else is doing it as well. You get heavily involved.
Absolutely. And it was, and besides members, it was free, which also made it super accessible, especially to young kids that had no money. So anyone could play it. Oh man, good times.
Dude, and as you say, man, you talk about things being easy to do in terms of like getting the membership. Things are also much easier to do in terms of the actual game itself, dude. Like something as basic as lighting a fire. If you recall when we used to play, you have to go into your inventory, right click to give you your options, what you can do with the logs. Click on drop the logs, and then click on your tinderbox, and then click to use it, and then click to use it with the logs. And then he would attempt, and he might fail to start the fire, and you'd have to try again.
Is that not how they do it now? Or is it different
dude.
now?
You just click. You just click the tinderbox, click the logs. You don't have to drop them first. Like everything is, optimized,
streamlined. Yeah, and optimized. Yeah,
which is obviously good because I think they probably contributed heavily to the game's longevity. Because if you were still doing that, holy shit, dude! And if you were cutting trees, periodically your axe head would just fucking fly off, and you'd have to go pick it up, reattach it. Same with your pick if you were mining.
I think that's probably like a thin line that game companies need to be mindful of. Sometimes when people make remakes, or even if they've just got a game that they've had for like a long MMO type game, sometimes it's good to, optimize the game and make it more streamlined, things like that. But then other times you can take away the spirit of the game if you obviously streamline it and simplify it too much as well, which can happen.
Well, and it goes both ways, right? Because I think there was a big, I suppose, exodus, if you will, with the current iteration of the game, which is
number 3, right?
RuneScape 3. A lot of the people
or is it called RuneScape 2?
I think it's called RS3. I want to say. I could be completely off the mark, but and then you have Old School, which is sort of like the legacy server, which I'm sure at some point they'll put a bullet in. But
then there's Classic as well. Because
Old School is Classic, I believe. Like that's sort of the same. Classic. Classic was like OG. That doesn't. They put a bullet in that.
Oh, okay.
So my understanding is that was generating approximately $2,000 a month in revenue because it was paid still. Like you had to be a paid member to play on that. But I imagine they didn't have support or anything for it. Like they weren't allocating resources to it.
Yeah, okay.
It was probably just a matter of time before something went pear-shaped and it wasn't worth their time. But yeah, dude, a very, very, really, I don't know, just like that was the first game where you really engaged with other people as well. I think like that was, it was kind of like an extreme version of MSN. Like you could still chat and hang out with people, but you could actually do shit productive.
Yeah. That's true. Oh man. So I don't know why, I don't know how, but I remember I obviously bought World of Warcraft like pretty soon after after RuneScape.
Yep.
For whatever reason. And obviously I had a subscription from the start, which is a little bit of a barrier when you're like friggin' young but whatever. And I remember getting on World of Warcraft. It was just, I think, when Burning Crusade had got released or just before Burning Crusade was coming out or something like that, right? I remember, getting on WoW, and if RuneScape blew my mind, WoW just like completely blew my mind out of
obliterated it.
It just obliterated it, man, because I remember walking through a zone in WoW and being like, oh, this is like really beautiful and really, big. And I wonder how big it is. And then I remember opening the map and not only seeing obviously my tiny zone that I was in and then the surrounding like continent. I remember then zooming out a bit and then seeing the whole other continent as well.
Yeah, dude.
And I just blew out. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how big it was. It blew my mind that a video game could be that big. When did you start playing?
I would have been probably just after Burning Crusade as well. It was shortly after, you know what the tipping point for me was? That South Park episode, Make Love Not Warcraft.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that and I thought, ooh, yeah, this is going to be up my alley. And because I attended the midnight release for Wrath of the Lich King.
Me too.
Yeah, dude.
I think friggin' everyone did.
Yeah, that was unreal. And then from there, obviously, I ended up just playing Death Knight full on. But that was
I thought you were a mage. Why did I think you were a mage?
I was a warlock. I was an undead warlock,
Oh,
and then I
warlock.
ended up going into Death Knight because I thought that was super cool. I was just like a very cool class. But that game, shit, man. Yeah, that was probably the first time that even I, like, upon reflection, because I look back at my time playing RuneScape and I was like, it was never really a problem or anything like that. But there were certainly days with World of Warcraft. I remember one day clearly, I put in about 14, maybe not that big of a deal for hardcore players, but I played for 14 hours and I didn't eat. Yeah, and it was the end of the day and I was like, fuck, I haven't eaten or done anything or gone outside. But I still don't regret it. It was mad fun, dude. I was having a blast.
I don't regret any of that shit.
But I can see how, as a parent, it would be concerning to see your kid doing that, particularly throughout our generation, because it didn't exist. It had not existed prior to that. So you're like, okay, my kid is just sitting fucking hours on end doing this thing that I know nothing about. Is this bad? Is this going to turn them into a wacko? Like, what's the deal? But ultimately, I think, throughout playing those games, like, you learn a lot. Like,
absolutely.
Inadvertently, like, you just pick up on things, which is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon I picked up a lot of social skills with, any MMOs or video games, but definitely WoW, being part of a guild, you had to be, if you were raiding or doing a dungeon, okay, be at this place at this time, be prepped, bring all your potions. If anything, it's actually like teaching you some good life skills.
Well, yeah, and I think it's certainly like, what's the word? It imparted the importance of your reputation. So if you're that guy that, if you commit to something like a dungeon or whatever it may be, and then you just drop out without warning, you do that a couple of times, all of a sudden everyone's like, yeah, he's this dickhead. He never, like, you won't get invited back. They're like, we just want to play with you in future. And you're like, oh, well, what do I do now? Like, I've sort of isolated myself. So it's kind of like a good, version of real life.
Yeah. No, I agree. I played WoW for a long time. I guess maybe religiously I played WoW for maybe, I don't know, 6 years, maybe.
Really? Wow.
Maybe. I don't know. I would have to like truly think about it. But if I went from just before Burning Crusade, I played nonstop all the way to like Mists of Pandaria.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. Okay.
So,
I dropped out, dude, just before Cataclysm. I was never a super, even with RuneScape, dude, I was never super good at it per se. I was never super competitive. Dude, I don't even think I did any, not a dungeon, raids. I never even did a raid in World of Warcraft. I just did like battlegrounds and stuff like that. I was just a super duncy player. I just enjoyed it. I was like, the dude that would just cruise around. I could just be, hanging out in game and enjoying myself, not doing anything in particular.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of MMOs though as well, man. It's the fact that you can jump on with no goal. You just jump on and you're just like, I'm just going to fucking hang out in a video game world. Like, that's what's so fucking cool about MMOs in general, is the fact that you can do that, there'll be heaps of times when I would just go and hang out in a city and just like explore or talk to people or get on like Ventrilo. At the time we used Ventrilo, no one used Discord. That wasn't around back then. Now everyone uses Discord, bro. And to be honest, I've like, except a couple of times that we used it when we played PUBG those few times, I've never really used Discord. So I got no idea what it's about and how it really works and stuff like that.
I think it's just, a reinvention of the wheel, much in the way that, like Facebook Messenger is just MSN.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a different font, whatever.
Can't you like rank people in Discord and stuff like that? Like, I've seen things around like,
clue, man. You're talking to a dude that doesn't, get into stuff on that level. I just use it for its bare bones functionality, and that's it.
Dude, I'm pretty sure you can do some crazy shit with Discord. Like, I've seen it be like, you got to be this rank, and then you can go into like these like different rooms, or you have these different abilities. I don't know, man. Like, who knows?
It's fucking absurd. It's absurd.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, give me Ventrilo, man. All I need is fucking to be able to join and talk to some people. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude.
Right. Okay. So, do you have a favorite genre of video game?
Fuck. That's a good question. I suppose it's interesting because the game that I've probably spent most time in of sort of all games ever would probably be something like PUBG. Like I really took to
Okay.
the battle royale format, and I think in the early
Right.
days they did that really well. They captured the essence of that film because it was with you that I first saw you showed me that film, Battle Royale, the Japanese film.
Oh man, great
And I
film.
was
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh, what a concept. And then playing PUBG really gave me that sensation of that randomly generated loot and you just need to survive at all costs kind of a vibe. But I don't think that would necessarily be my favorite genre. I think it would probably have to be, yeah, sort of like that whole journey, like that independent, like that indie game, which I guess, I don't know if you'd call that a genre, something that is like a really,
Like a story-driven game.
yeah, story driven and something that I can get really immersed in. God, I don't even know if that's a genre.
No, I think like story-driven can almost be considered a genre.
Mm.
Now,
What about
nowadays, maybe not like 5-10 years ago, but now, like story-driven games, I reckon are definitely a genre.
Yeah.
For me, I like RPGs. I love role-playing games. Anything where I can level up, anything where I can get loot, that shit is just like burned into my mind. It probably helped that, RuneScape was the first game I was ever truly addicted to. Then it was obviously WoW. I love the Final Fantasy series as well.
Oh, okay.
Love Final Fantasy.
Yeah, you were big into that. I never caught it. Like it just went over my head. But yeah, I remember you were like very heavily into that. Like you were fired up as one time I came over when we were kids, and the new one had just been released.
Oh, sick.
God, I wouldn't. It was on PS2. I want to say.
Oh, who knows?
It was a big event.
Could have been like a 12 or 10 or who knows, man. Yeah. They're great games. They're bringing out a new one next year or maybe this year actually for PS5. Yeah, so that'll be cool. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll see. They sort of lost their way a little bit, but I don't know. They still do good games.
Dude, speaking of good games, and this is another tandem memory. Remember playing Dynasty Warriors?
Oh man,
that was fucking sick. That was sick.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned Dynasty Warriors, right? Because maybe a couple months ago, I got the thought of Dynasty Warriors in my head.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know what? I fucking love Dynasty Warriors. I want to play it right now. So I went on Facebook Marketplace and I looked up to see if anyone was selling a secondhand copy. Lo and behold, someone was selling a secondhand copy for like $10. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
You robbed him. You robbed him blind.
I drove like half an hour away to get this copy of Dynasty Warriors, picked it up, went home, and just absolutely smashed it for like a month, man. What a great concept of a game. You just literally one dude on a big battlefield and you just kill thousands of enemies.
Oh, and dude, anytime you would encounter like a boss character and they'd have like a bit of a cinematic to go along and they'd be like, this is where your journey ends, blah, 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 blah. You'll never defeat me and take my fortress. You just belt the piss out of them. It was so, so good, man. Like that was a really, really cool series.
They really messed up the last one. I don't know if you heard, but they went open world. And they tried to do like an RPG.
It already felt open world, but then again, I think we were playing on PS2. I think that's some of my best memories of gaming. I don't even know if I ever owned one. I think I just would have played at your place, the PS2. Like, I think obviously a big one, and this was obviously directly related to our history, was Vice City.
Oh man!
When Vice City very first came out, and I just could not believe it. Obviously, you know what? I didn't have a PS2, and then I wouldn't have been allowed to play it. So I go to LDs, and we play it. And you'd tell Nan that we weren't killing anyone.
Oh, really?
You were always lying. You were always lying. She'd be like, yeah, just don't make sure you don't like use the samurai sword. Like I don't want you to cut anyone's head off. And you'd be like, no, we won't. Obviously, that was like the first thing we set out to do.
Oh my God. You know what? Oh man, so good that you bring up Grand Theft Auto. I remember Grand Theft Auto 3. That's when they first went to 3D, right? Is when they went to number 3. My uncle brought over his PlayStation and he had bought that and he put it on in the lounge and I watched him play it and I blew out. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what is this game? I was like, how is this a thing? You can literally rob people and kill them and then get in their cars and drive away.
Yeah.
Like,
what do you mean? This is what do you mean you can play real life as a game?
yeah, it was heinous. Like, I remember just I don't know, obviously young kids will never realize how revolutionary Grand Theft Auto was as a game.
Dude, it was legitimately mind-bending. And reflecting on it now, I can see, and sort of like what I was referring to with the addictive nature of MMOs, I think, like MMORPGs rather, I can see how the parental concern would just be through the roof. Because for us, it was like, this is unbelievable. This is completely, like, we couldn't even fathom what was going on. And we're like, this is just the best shit ever. And then I think as I get older, I have a bit more of a sympathetic view of that parental take of like, shit, do you really want your 10-year-old kid cutting people's heads off with a samurai sword? And I remember even at the time when we were like 10, clearly being able to draw that distinction between real life and a game. There was no point where I was like, LD, do you think we could maybe do this in real life, man?
You think we could cut off someone's head? Yeah.
It just didn't exist.
That never crossed my mind. No.
And I don't think I ever had a violent thought linked to the game or had any like rage issues caused by a game or anything like that. I think your personality is kind of set to a degree, and I don't feel like I was ever influenced by any of that stuff. But
I guess you just got to be sort of fucked up in the head to really not be able to distinguish the two. And that goes back to a whole nother issue around like mental health, wellness, and, or everything that goes along with that. Oh man.
I think if you're going to, like, if you are like a Ted Bundy operator, you don't play Grand Theft Auto and then decide, oh my God, I found my calling. I'm going to go kill heaps of people.
Yeah, that's like, I don't want to say inherently built into you, but I mean, like, you've got to go through some huge trauma. Something's got to happen to you, or you're born in some capacity where, some brain links aren't there that should be there to make you a sympathetic or just like normal, quotation marks, human being. Like, no. Although, I don't know, there is the side of video, like, do you remember, you don't really hear about it much anymore, but back in the day, hearing about like Chinese, not necessarily just Chinese people, but I remember hearing a few Chinese stories around them getting so addicted that they wouldn't eat and they would like literally pass away and die because they hadn't eaten in like 3 days, or that they would neglect their like babies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember reading about that sort of shit?
I do. And I suppose that's probably what ties into that, those couple of days that I had where I'd plug in, like 14 hours without eating. And honestly, because there was no point where I even thought to eat. But I never saw it getting to that point. I suppose maybe in some senses. No, I just don't think I get to a point where I was like legitimately starving and would not think to go to the fridge in the next room. Like, I think I throughout my childhood and even up until now, I've just had a really good metabolism and just don't. I don't know. I don't really get that hungry, so it's never been a problem. But I guess that's it, dude. Well, and I think, like you say, with something like that, there has to be, to a degree, some predisposition towards that.
Surely.
That is not. And then who do you put the responsibility on, dude? Is it?
No, I don't know.
Is it Blizzard's fault for creating such a fucking legit game, or it's a tricky one.
I don't know, man. I don't have the answer. I don't fucking know. I don't know who you should blame. I think you should probably put it back on the individual and just say, well, you probably should have fucking eaten, or you should have fed your kid or whatever. Yeah. But
do you blame Crown Casino when you lose all your money?
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. I got a funny story about Crown Casino. I'll tell you another episode when we talk about gambling, I guess, on our gambling episode.
Go through our illustrious careers.
Actually, great segue because there is something I wanted to talk about.
Mm.
Have you ever heard of gacha games?
Not gotcha, gacha.
Yeah, it's like gacha. Gacha.
No.
All right. So gacha games are, look, I'm not, once again, an expert, but gacha games are essentially, a lot of the time they are like role-playing games or games where you have like heaps of characters, right? Like you can play as heaps of characters, but you don't get all the characters at the start and you don't unlock them all through playing the game. You actually have to sort of like purchase them through like loot boxes. You know what loot boxes are,
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right. But the thing around the loot boxes, it's not like a guaranteed that you will get the character. So you can purchase a loot box and there's literally, so on this game, for example, is 0.6% of you getting like this character. Right. So these gacha games, they're getting huge, right? They're getting really big. So people, I don't know why, I guess people with disposable income will literally invest thousands of dollars in these gacha games to unlock the best characters and like the best weapons so that they can kill the enemies like, you know, that little bit faster or whatever. And it's crazy.
Is an example of this like EVE Online? Is that the type of thing that you're referring
to? No, it's different because the difference between like a gacha game and a game where you can just like pay to win, like pay to win, there might be like an online shop and you go, okay, I want that weapon. And you can literally just purchase that weapon for like $5, right? Let's say, for example. A gacha game is like literally, okay, I want that sword. It's in this chest. So I have to buy this chest. But the percent chance of it being in there is like 0.5%.
I see. Yeah.
See the fucking difference?
What? How are people, dude, how are people so fucking dumb?
Well, like I have been playing a gacha game.
Oh, you fucking idiot.
I've been playing a gacha game. But it's not like the other gacha games.
Of course not. This one's different, man.
This one's different, dude.
Fuck it out.
So I got to tell you, man. So there's this new game. It's literally come out like a couple of weeks ago. It's called Genshin Impact. It's on the PlayStation. It's also on PC. It's also on your mobile. And this is how crazy.
You need to be able to access it everywhere you go.
Yeah. And it's a role-playing game. And it's like super anime style. Like all the girls are like super anime. All the boys are like super anime. And it's like big open world. It's like Zelda, actually, like Breath of the Wild. I'm not sure if you played that or have seen much around it. Yeah. But it's really good. Like a complete Breath of the Wild ripoff. But it's really good. And yeah, dude, I've been playing it. And I've spent $8.
You fucking idiot, man. That's how it starts. You know how many people only put $10 into the pokies?
Yeah, exactly, right? But this is the thing. This is the whole thing with gacha games. It's literally gambling. It's literally gambling that certain countries are trying to get it outlawed because
and they should, man. It's bullshit. It's a scam of the century. And that's how it starts, dude. It's like, oh, I only put $5 in. Dude, I only put like $30 in. You know what, dude? I only put like $500 in. However, you do the cost benefit. I've played it for like 1,000 hours. So, dude, that only works out to be like 25 cents an hour that I'm paying. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I feel you 100%. Look, I feel okay spending $8, but there are people on YouTube who have literally spent like $5,000 on this game to try and unlock these like certain 5-star characters. And the game's only been out for like 2 weeks, dude. And people have already spent like $5,000. And guess what? Next week, an update's coming out with like 5 brand new characters. And what do you think's happening like a month from now? Another update
Yeah,
with
fucking.
more characters.
The thing is, dude, like if someone is like an uber successful YouTuber and they have a Patreon and all that kind of stuff,
Then get away
that
with it.
money, yeah, that money's fine. It's not a problem for them.
Yeah.
The problem
Yeah.
is when John Citizen sees that and he's like, "Oh shit,
Yes.
oh fuck, maybe if I drop $5,000, I'll get that." They drop that $5,000. They don't get that character. They don't get the ad revenue. They don't get the
Yep.
sponsors. They don't have Patreons, and they're like, "Yeah, sick. I just put $5,000 in the bin."
Yeah, exactly. You're 100% right. Yeah, 100% right. You know, these YouTubers, they putting money into it makes them content and makes them money. It's like an investment. And I think they can even write it off like as a tax
Yeah,
write-off.
I think that Mr. Beast does something wacky in that regard. I may be completely mistaken, but I think he's got some kind of wacko setup where he
Yeah.
writes off a whole pile of shit as like content creation expenses.
Yeah,
I
it's
may be
crazy.
mistaken, but yeah, I'm sure it's an option.
Oh yeah, who knows? But yeah, look, I just think it's crazy. But I just thought I'd tell you about it because it's such a weird concept, man. And this game, guess how many people have downloaded this game? Genshin Impact in 2 weeks. No, in this first week, guess how many people have downloaded it and are playing it?
10,000?
No, dude.
100? 600? I don't know.
Are you serious?
I don't know, dude. What's a good guess? How many viewers do we have in 2 weeks?
Oh yeah, but yeah, yeah. Take that number, divide it by 4. Yeah. 17 million people.
What?
17 million people have downloaded and are playing this game.
Dude, we are both in the wrong industries.
Oh, wait, you reckon we should be video game developers?
We need to start making these gotcha games.
yeah, no shit. Dude, highly recommend you suss that out a little bit more because the shit is crazy.
Yeah, okay.
Shit is crazy what's going on out there.
I'll watch videos on it. I'll never play it because...
No, hey, it's a good game. Look, but suss it out. Just have a watch.
You know, yeah, the pokies at Crown Casino are good games as well, dude.
There's literally YouTube videos of guys just being like, okay, I'm just going to keep rolling. They call it rolling. That's when you like open the chest or whatever to like, try to unlock the characters and stuff. They'll just be like, all right, I'm just going to keep rolling until I unlock this character. And like the video length on YouTube is like 3.5 hours long. So you can imagine.
It gets to a point where what's worse, man? Like the people that watch the whole thing or the dudes creating that content? I find that kind of, there must be some sort of interesting study to be conducted in that regard. Those people that do those videos that just seem absurd, but then you have people that sit there and watch the whole thing with bated breath. Like that guy, super funny. I forget his name. He does all like the commentary videos. He has black hair, beard. He also does music. I don't know his name. He did Yu-Gi-Oh card unboxings.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I watched one of those. It went, same deal. Went for like an hour. I just skipped through to anything that I thought was interesting, but
this is crazy that in 2020, streaming, like live streaming or playing video games or whatever it is, man, people will pay for just about anything now in 2020. Which I think is good, to be honest. Like, it's good and it's bad. Sure, if you abuse people or if you rip people off, but I mean, like, it gives creators or it gives people more of an opportunity to, make money. Like,
yeah,
I'm happy that there's a guy that, like, there's people that can literally just live stream them walking down the street and talking to people and they make money and they get donations and that's how they make a living. Like, better off, in my opinion, that money goes to them rather than gets funneled into fucking, Apple.
Yeah.
They don't need any more fucking money.
Well, yeah, so because I suppose in a sense, and like as we've said, if there is like a whatever long form content there is, if that content legitimately entertains someone for say like an hour and a half, what's the difference between that and like a Hollywood movie? You pay X amount of dollars to be entertained for X amount of time. If that can be achieved by someone, walking down the street, walking their dog, or Robert Downey Jr. being Iron Man, getting paid $1 squillion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's
that
to
is
say,
an interesting
who's to say
take
the
on it.
value of it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's funny that you actually mention Iron Man, and obviously we're doing a podcast, and one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to, I don't know if I told you this, but they recently turned down like a
massive,
multi-million-dollar deal with Spotify because that the offer that they got, they were like, nah, this is a shit offer, right? And how the guy on the podcast sort of explained it was the fact is like, with a podcast, they do 2 podcasts a week, right? And their podcasts generally go for like 3 hours each.
We need to
Like
ramp up our content, dude.
Dude, we do, right? But he was like, how can you offer me this much when we deliver you 2 Iron Man movies a week with no investment? The amount, like the numbers that they were doing and the revenue that they were bringing into Spotify, they were like, we give you 2 Iron Man movies a week.
Yeah.
And you're not pumping in millions into us.
Yeah, we've already got the setup. We got the mics, we got the studio, we've got the content and whatever it may be. Like all you're doing is just buying a cash cow.
Yeah, literally. So, and they were pissed off as well. Like Joe Rogan, we got like $100 million just for like having that licensing deal with Spotify. So another reason why they were like, well, you're offering Joe Rogan $100 million. That shows you the value now of podcasts. You get what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That was my little rant. I don't know where I was going with that, but I guess I just, money, as you sort of said, people should be able to spend money where they want to, on who they want to. And I think it's better if you can spread it directly or give it directly to creators rather than having it be funneled through corporations.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. But I suppose, I feel like we're getting into a whole can of worms, dude. There are so many things to tackle. This is like a whole webisode.
New episode? All right.
It is, because then you get down to music, the streaming, the
shit. All
right. We could continue, but we will continue.
Okay.
Actually.
All right. So is this the end of the episode?
I guess so. I don't know. We've probably gone for like an hour or something. We just do a back-to-back episodes, dude.
Shit. All right. Shit. All right. Well, I guess we'll finish this episode up then. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. We hope you enjoyed our episode of the MTLD podcast. What episode is this? 4 now, yeah?
4 in the books, dude.
4 in the books, guys. If you do have any questions, any comments, let us know in the comments of YouTube. You can find us on Facebook at MTLD. Can find us on Spotify at MTLD podcast. Is that right?
I think it's called it. I don't know. Maybe just put MTLD, the letters, into your search bar, and you'll get.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Boys. I don't know.
Yeah, you'll probably get blasted. That's it. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.